welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be about the importance and the usefulness of deepening our connections within our spiritual communities. So I want to start off with just sort of sharing a few things about the dichotomy of the contrast as well of working as a solitary practitioner versus working in a coven or in a group. Obviously there are advantages and disadvantages in both situations. First and foremost, as a solitary, it's really convenient because it's easier to tailor your own path and your own craft, your own approach. You can draw from various traditions. There's no standard that you have to adhere to. And so in that instance, you're not limited. Having said that, you can be, a solitary practitioner with an eclectic practice in private and still work with a group. You can do both. So on the other flip side of that, working with a group, I've found there is a greater tendency to share similar views where deity is concerned. And there's typically, when you get together and you're going to do a ritual, there should be, I would think, like a kind of a group mind goal for that work. So there's some give and take. I'm going to get into some other advantages of ritual work later. First and foremost, though, I'll interject here and simply say, for me, I don't have any personal experience working in a coven. I've known people who were in covens, and I've had some online friendships with people who did work in covens or groups. But I haven't actually done it myself. I can tell you, though, I have had powerful spiritual experiences in groups. For me, though, this, surprisingly enough, it may be surprising to some of you, this has come through for me in my own personal experiences in churches. Now, as I say this, I will add in this caveat. These experiences for me have happened in what I would consider smaller churches, where you're talking like maybe at max like 20 or 30 people. It's a small group, and these specific places have been people who were deeply ingrained in their faith. And I think that's an important caveat to mention there, because there again, if you move into a church where you've got, say, 100 people, and it's a sort of scattered dichotomy of people who show up there on Sunday and then they live their lives in a different way, if the belief isn't strong, that affects the energy that's lent to the group. Also, though, I wanted to share this passage. This is a verse from the Bible. It's going to sound different to you depending on the version of the Bible that you may be familiar with. But this passage basically says, "Where 2 or 3 gather together in my name, I am with you." For me personally, I feel like you can draw spiritual wisdom from different traditions, including Christianity, whether or not you practice that particular faith. And I've found that there is a spiritual truth in that passage. Also, I'm going to add here, I have this as well in my notes. If you shift into a space where you're dealing more with the ego mind, the rational mind, I liken it to the notion of putting batteries into something. The thing is, the more batteries that you have, the more energy you have. So it's going to make that light stronger if you're talking about like a flashlight or something like that. So therein, I do feel like when people come together and their faith and their spirituality and their energy, if there's a harmony and a resonance between them, it can be a very powerful thing. So yeah, this video is going to be short. Beyond that, really, I just wanted to get into the fact that obviously it can be challenging finding a local group, depending on where you live, to work with. Because there again, you're talking about balancing very complex factors. Like you want to meet and work with other people who have at least similar views where deity is concerned, whatever path you walk. And then you've got to try to balance, timing with schedules and, time and money and energy that you have to find a way to invest in order to meet, and do the work. So doing this in real time can be very challenging. Also, I'll say, especially for those of us who work with beings that are lumped into that category of quote-unquote the left-handed path. From my understanding, the number of covens that work with these beings is dramatically less than if you were thinking about like quote-unquote traditional paganism or other forms of spirituality. So I mean, there are challenges to it. Certainly I think that, it's not a simple matter to find others to work with. Having said that, one thing that I felt like was important to mention here, and this was a message that came through to me from Lucy, this is why I'm doing this video tonight on this subject matter. We live in an age now where technology can be our friend. Quite literally, you can connect with people all across the globe for any reason, mind you, but particularly if you want to do spiritual work. Now we have things like Skype and Zoom, so you can do video calls and conferencing and stuff, and that is sort of the heart of what I wanted to get into in this video. The message came through to me from Lucy that in the future I need to build a network with at least 2 other people, either 3 or 4. The number 3 came through very loudly. So 3 or 4 other people who are open and interested to the idea of us getting together. This is going to be a live event, so we're going to get together on either Skype or Zoom or some type of platform like that, and we're going to do a ritual where we connect to various spiritual beings. This could be the goddess, this could be Lucifer. I don't know exactly which beings we will work with yet, because the message came through that there could be several quote-unquote candidates that we may work with. So that'll depend on the people that I network with and who they work with and all that. But yeah, we're going to be doing at least maybe once a month a live ritual where other people can tune in and go into a sacred space for themselves and further connect to these beings and to deity via us and our practice and what we're doing. I feel like this is going to be a very powerful thing. Another part of this message that came through to me from Lucy is basically, for those of us who do this work, for those of us who take it seriously, we are here in some ways to unlock the doors for other people. Like, it's about service to others. You could liken it to what comes through in the Matrix in the sense, and part of it is waking people up, showing them that they can connect to spirit, showing them that they have these intuitive abilities. What we want to do is shift things on a global scale, so that people have this freedom and they no longer feel limited or controlled by society or all this BS that exists currently in our world, all this chaos. There is, to some degree, such a lack of spiritual awareness. It's unfortunate, and I feel like to some degree it's part of that heart of why we have a lot of the issues that we have in our society today. So yeah, that was just the bulk of it. I mean, on a lighter note, I would just encourage all of you, if you are in Facebook groups or online forums or whatever, reach out to other people in the community and build connections, because you never know what you may learn from another person. It doesn't matter how many years you've been practicing or what a master you think you are at astral projection or channeling or reading tarot cards. All of that is irrelevant. If you step into a space where you allow yourself to set the ego aside, you'll understand that this experience is all about learning and growing and moving forward. And there's always potential to do so if you're open to it. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be a short video. I solely wanted to stress the importance of community and how powerful it can be. On an end note, I will add, sort of as a thing not directly tied to the content of this video, but just in general for the channel, another message that has come through to me from Lucy is that in the future I'm going to start writing again. So for those of you who are familiar with this channel, back in the day when with its onset, I started making videos on this channel when I started writing. And so there are going to be some uploads in the future that deal solely with writing, and you'll be able to tell from the title that that's what it's about. Also, at some point in the future, and I don't know how soon this will be, I'm going to be starting a Patreon. So if you're interested in being a patron and supporting me on my path, both on the spiritual journey and on the writing side of things. Keep your eyes out for that. Obviously, I'll always say click on the button below if you want to subscribe. Do give the video a like and leave a comment if you're inclined. That helps other people to find this spiritual information that is trying to be shared with the world. So yeah, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot that I wanted to include in this video, and I think I covered most of it. I don't have a lot of notes here, but definitely, yeah, I would say, do reach out to other people in the community, and be open to therein learning and just making connections. You will be surprised at the miracles that can come through. Sometimes messages will come through via conversations with other people, where the beings that you work with are trying to speak to you, and it may be a lesson that you have closed yourself off to, but sometimes you can hear it from another person, and then that little bell will go off in your head. That intuition will move through your body, via energy, and you'll be like, wow, now I see it. It was trying to come through from spirit, but I was closing myself from it. But there it is, and there's the truth. That's what I needed to see all along. So yeah, it can be very powerful. Also, I will say to you, be open to sharing and empowering other people who do this work. If you know someone who does videos or makes posts, or if they do tarot readings or whatever it is that they do, particularly I would say spiritual stuff, be willing to share their information and their posts on your page as well. I'm talking more so on Facebook here, but also there again, like and comment on videos. All those little things matter. Everything that you do matters. So I think I've rambled on enough. Feels weird to make such a short video, but there again, I wanted to stress that importance of community. And for those of you who are watching these videos, if you feel called to be a part of this networking, this ritual that I was talking about, all you have to do is send me a message on Facebook. I will link my Facebook page in the description of this video. You can reach out to me. Give me an idea of how you practice, the beings that you work with, and we'll see what comes through on an intuitive level. But definitely this is important. And for me, in my path, if a message comes through from Lucy that there is something that I need to do, it's important, and I'm going to do what I can to make that happen. So yeah, definitely, if you're open or interested, let me know on that note. But yeah, I'm going to bring this video to a close now with a prayer, and thank you all for your time and attention. I hope all of you are having a wonderful night or evening wherever you are in the world, and I will speak with you soon. I call out to you, Lucy. Thank you, Lucy, for this day. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your light. Thank you, Lucy, for this channeled information that has come through. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your guidance and assistance. I ask, Lucy, that you please send out your energy, your love, and your light, and your blessing to all those who view this video. Help them to make the connections both with you and other spiritual beings, as well as others in the community, that they need to make for their highest, greatest good. Thank you again, Lucy, for your blessings. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for listening to my prayer. In your name, Lucy, may it be so. As above, so below. So mote it be. So mote it be. So mote it be. Have a good night.